Welcome to the WVW 2014 National Electronic Sports Classic. I'm What Is Hip here on Beyond the Summit, and we're going to be watching Arenda going up against Tong Fu. And Arenda is a pretty new squad to the Chinese scene. They started out with their debut in WPC East just a couple of weeks ago, where they faced up against CIS, and they ran a quad lane, and it worked out very well for them. They won the game, and it was something. It was something to say the least. And for all that I've heard about this squad is that it's a group of, some of them are old Chinese players, some of them are sort of pub stars. So who knows what they're gonna have in store for us for this game. I think the second game that we saw, they had some sort of pocket strategy as well. So we'll have to find out. But Tong Fu, been around for a while. The last couple of weeks, the results have been a little bit struggling, honestly, but we'll see if they can bring it back around here. They've got some pretty fierce competition in the Chinese scene right now. So Orenda, they've banned out the Lycan as well as the Centaur, and on the other side of things, Tong Fu have banned out the Bat Rider as well as the Ancient Apparition, and they've picked themselves the Invoker as well as the Dazzle, and Orenda have picked themselves up the Shadow Shaman and the Sand King, both really strong supports. I actually really like these two picks. Really strong out of the gates here by Arenda. Shadow Shaman is extremely preferred in the Eastern scene, and this is definitely an example of that as we see him first picked up by Arenda. But he is a very versatile support. I mean, he's got a lot of extremely powerful abilities. His biggest issue is he does require some levels. He does require some farm. He benefits unbelievably hugely from Blink Dagger. I mean, it lets you bypass BKB, basically just Blink Hex and then Shackle, and it's extremely powerful. He's got the Ether Shock as well, which is pretty good in lane, and then he has, of course, the wards. The reason teams really used to pick him, but now, he's just all around extremely powerful, has a huge impact on the game pretty much all the time, and Sand King has become extremely popular recently. Ever since this new patch, people have been figuring out the Sandstorm jungling, and it works extremely well. It lets you pretty reliably roam around, and you can also still get an 8 or 9 minute Blink Dagger, which is obviously right where you want to be. Rubik banned out as well as the Axe for Arenda, and then on the other side, Templar Assassin as well as the Nature's Prophet banned out. And Arenda have picked up the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit is he's kind of in an interesting place right now in the Chinese scene, because basically there's a lot of teams that don't really care about Ember Spirit at all, and then there's a couple teams who prioritize it. I mean, IG prioritize it. Obviously here, Arenda prioritize it. But I mean, in the Western scene, Ember Spirit is really like almost always first pick, first ban, and still going to the second phase is a lot different. We've got a Wraith King here for Tong Fu. They've picked themselves up the Nyx Assassin as well as the Wraith King. Man, I don't... Oh, God. This hero has sort of re-entered the metagame. Well, I guess entered the metagame. I'm not sure he was ever in it to start with, but Wraith King, it's kind of bizarre, because if you run him as a core, he doesn't have any flash farming mechanisms. It takes him a really long time to get online. He can be forced to be reckoned with if he's able to pull together enough farm, but basically he usually just runs around the fight, and then nothing, everyone kind of just ignores him, because you really don't want to kill him. Reincarnation is pretty brutal if you actually do kill him. The slow is basically like a little mini Ravage. But if you just kind of ignore him in the earlier parts of the game, it's usually not a big deal, because he doesn't actually have a lot of damage. Is this going to be a core Wraith King, or is it going to be a support Wraith King? I mean, from the looks of things, this looks like it's probably going to be a support Wraith King, or a core Wraith King, rather, excuse me. And, they've got the Dazzle, they have the Nyx Assassin. I suppose it still could be a support. They could run the Nyx in the offlane. They could run the Dazzle as like a core, but you have to expect that, Dazzle is going to be most likely be run in the support capacity at some point. On the other side of things, Arenda picked up the Darkseer. I mean, the one thing that I'll say about the Arenda lineup is it definitely seems like there's a possibility they're just going to get rolled over, because so many of their heroes do require levels. I mean, Darkseer is pretty much useless until he's like level 10, until he really has wall online. He does... I mean, the bigger issue is not really wall, it's vacuum. Because you have to get points in Surge, you have to get points in Ion Shell to make it so you don't just die So
5 seconds remaining.
it's I don't know. He requires a lot of levels and a lot of time to really get moving along here. Arenda have banned out the Doom. I think that's a good ban. Against the Ember Spirit, Doom is pretty brutal. That's one of the best heroes to shut down Ember, and they don't really want to have to deal with that. Ember Spirit, I think, should have a pretty. I mean, this is probably one of the rougher games for an Ember Spirit. I mean, there's the Dazzle physical damage, Wraith King stun, Nyx Assassin stun, Invoker can be a bit annoying for Ember Spirit if you aren't careful. If you go the 4-4-0 build, it's not too bad because you don't really go near him close enough where he can cold snap you and sort of take advantage of that. The Flame Guard build can be a bit brutal though. I mean, really the 4-4-0 build seems to be where everyone's at. Max out that Searing Chains, max out that Sleight of Fist, and just start harassing heroes in lane. It does give you a bit better options. You can Ancient a little bit easier as well.
Reserve time.
Tongfu have banned out the Weaver as their last ban. This makes sense. I mean, they don't have a extremely long duration stuns like a Mirana arrow or something like that to keep the Mirana locked down, or the Weaver. Jeez, sorry, it is quite early, and I'm misspeaking all over the place. Keep the Weaver locked down, but he's just annoying to deal with, and they already have the Ember Spirit who they're going to have to use a lot of their lockdown on to deal with the damage that he can bring out. So the last pick is a Lifestealer, so that's a pretty strong pick here. I mean, Lifestealer is one of the heroes that can actually man up against Wraith King. He's obviously there's nothing that goes through rage at this point, so he's gonna be able to rage off quite a lot of these CCs. So I really like this pick here by Arenda. Very reliable and should definitely be. I mean, they don't have a way to deal with this, really. This is one way. This is smart. The Timber Saw is the last pickup here for Tong Fu. It's going to help him deal with the Lifestealer in the earlier parts of the game. Just be able to burst through him and sort of kill him before he is able to use Rage. And I like this quite a bit. So, heading straight into the game here, guess we'll have some team introductions. Over on the side of Orenda, we've got Yim on the Darkseer, Yi on the Shadow Shaman, 290 on the Ember Spirit, Leon Lee on the Sand King, and ZYF on the Lifestealer heading up towards the top lane. And this is how you know they've got the Golden Roshan. They're not fooling around. Over for Tongfu, we've got XBJ on the Nyx Assassin, Sorry Fox on the Wraith King, MT on the Timber Saw, Q right behind him on the Dazzle, and U9. Or U9 as I will call him for this game, on the Invoker, and looks like it is going to be the middle Ember Spirit. No surprise there. Yim heading down to the bottom lane, going to smack a ward down. And Orenda, looks like they are going to dodge here. They walk out, they get a little bit of nice movement there. They do get a ward down on the way as well. And now they know exactly where Tongfu is. Oh, they are going to avoid each other. Yeah, there we go. Well, Sentry is put down here by Tongfu, so that's mission accomplished there. And now a quick pause. And I don't know what that means, but we should be back underway here in just a couple minutes. Again, I am What Is Hip here for Beyond. Some of you guys are watching the WVW National Esports Classic. Arenda going up against Tongfu. Here very early in the morning on the Eastern Coast. If you guys are joining me from Europe, good afternoon. If you're from the West Coast, you probably just haven't gone to sleep yet. And if you're tuning in from the East Coast, then you probably just woke up. So, well, they are discussing a few things here, but who has the best set? This is a very important thing that we need to check out. This is a pretty sweet hammer. I can get behind this. Well, it looks like this is going to... How are these lanes going to settle in? It looks like it's going to be a tri-lane towards the top lane. Is this going to be an aggressive tri-lane as well? It looks like it is going to be. We've got the Invoker heading towards the mid lane. The Timber Saw going down to the bottom lane. Now they might run into each other. Tongfu, They're on the run. ZYF is here. The range on open wounds is so small, but there, they get the stun off on XBJs. He has taken the impale, so no carapace available, and now he is going to be the first blood. Impale goes off, hits Yi, but it is not enough to do anything else about it. Off goes the Clarity. The body blocks the stun on Q as well, and now he's going to fall. 2 easy kills for Orenda, and they just took this tri-lane, flipped it on its head, and declared it theirs. And that's 2 easy kills to start it off, and that's very nice for a lot of these heroes. Getting that early gold is going to be unbelievably huge in this tri-lane. And now, we'll see how the rest of the lanes work out. I mean, I think this bottom lane is actually pretty good for Tongfu, but now, I mean, this top lane has already sort of taken a catastrophic turn. I mean, that's a lot of gold to be injecting into this tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario. You do have to be very, very careful when you do this. Shadow Shaman now has the Ether Shock as well for more damage, and they're going to have to be a bit careful with how the engagement. Wraithfire Blast was not at all in the last engagements. They just kind of died without it, so we'll see. Yi, it looks like he's looking for maybe a Shackle. And now Tri-Lane settling out just a little bit, and we'll see who gets the better of this. I mean, Arenda already with a massive advantage heading into it. And we'll see if they can continue it forward here. Let's check in on the other lanes. It is going to be the Flame Guard build here for 290, and this is the problem with this build. You can see pretty much right away, a lot of that Flame Guard does get taken off by the Cold Snap. And it looks like this is going to be a Wex Invoker in the mid lane. Top lane there, still just all over each other. The good news is that I think pretty soon this Lifestealer is going to be pretty aggressive here. Rage is very, very good in this lane. Not much they can do. Grave is actually leveled up for the Dazzle as well. This is not ideal. I mean, you get Grave as late as possible, basically. You really want to be able to put points in Shadow Wave. You really want to be able to put points in Poison Touch. Because now all this Dazzle is doing in lane is sitting here, maybe getting some right clicks off, but without Shadow Wave, without the Poison Touch, Arenda don't really have to worry about him at the moment, which is a pretty big deal. And Arenda are playing a bit more passively than I honestly would have expected. It's possible they're just waiting for one more level on ZYF, rather, to make sure that they have the Rage up as well. So, tri-lane versus tri-lane action, I mean, at this point, this definitely does favor Arenda still. They head into this lane with an advantage. The Lifestealer has a massive CS lead over the Wraith King, only 4 for him. Another nice little deny there as well. Arenda really making this lane as difficult as possible. Heading back here to the mid lane. Regeneration is picked up for the Ember Spirit Invoker. 14 last hits for him, leading just by a couple over the Ember Spirit. And I do expect that will probably get turned around in a bit here if 290 is able to regain his footing. I'll be interested to see how this Flame Guard build moves into the middle parts of the game. It does give you a decent amount of damage in the Radiance Burn, or the Flame Guard Burn, I guess, as it is. And now he puts the chains off on U9, but I'm not sure he's actually going to be able to kill this Invoker with only 1 level in Sleight of Fist. And now, I mean, the other thing for Arenda is that this Lifestealer is farming very well in this tri-lane. I mean, he's got almost 20 last hits already. So they're just fine continuing things at parity here. It's really on Tong Fu to make something happen at this point. I mean, Arenda does have the tools to be aggressive, but that doesn't mean that they have to be aggressive. And now level 3 is up. They do have the option with the Rage available. But if things just continue along here, I mean, this is going to be a super farmed Lifestealer and a marginally farmed Wraith King who does not have a lot of levels, which is a problem as well, because obviously you are sort of relying on the reincarnation. But 290 in the mid lane. What? Oh, very close. Pops the regeneration rune. 1 right click off to cancel it. Nice job by the Invoker. Almost got that kill there. That would have been a big deal. Ember Spirit really can't afford to die in lane at this point. I mean, solo especially. And I'm kind of surprised that Tongfu hasn't like broken up this tri-lane or really tried to make something happen here. I'm not really sure what their plan is, because the Lifestealer is farming far better than the Wraith King, and this is a huge problem for them. Checking into the bottom lane, Timbersaw doing just fine against Yim. 20 last hits for him, 28 for Yim. On the back of that Ion Shell does make it a bit easier. Oh, in the mid lane, U9, he is on the run. This Flame Guard 290 is just chasing him down. He's got some illusions on the way as well. And now there's a Darkseer. He's going to run into him. Does he have Vacuum? Yes, he does. And oh, nice tornado by U9, I think. That might be a disengage. There's no Sleight of Fist just yet. They're still on the run. There's no TP reactions. There's the search for it. The chains. No, he pops the stick! And he grabs it finally with the Sleight of Fist in the top lane. Lifestealer moves in. They take down one. Are they going to get another? Yes, they are. Yi now on the run. Wraithfire Blast. He's going to eat that. Sorry Fox going to get the kill. But now, on the way out, I think he's going to die as well. And I think it might end up being a 3-for-1. It's going to be really close. One more right click's going to do it in the grave. No, that keeps him alive. He pops off a salve as well. And now he makes it out. So, I mean, in the end, still a huge advantage for Orenda there. They lose their Invoker as well. And things not looking great for Tong Fu at this stage. I mean, it's 5 kills to 1. A quick look at the graphs. It's a 2,000 gold lead for Arenda. XP looks very similar. And I think Tong Fu are really going to have to rely on this Invoker now. I mean, he needs to get moving along. He really needs to get some levels and have a big measurable impact on the game as soon as possible. Same with this Timber Saw, because this tri-lane is not going nearly as well as it needs to. Oh, and now Leonely, he's got 2 levels in Sandstorm. And it's time for the do-do-do dancing to begin, as he is just going to stack up camps, breaking it down, and oh, the Courier is going to fall. Now MT, he is taking a lot of pressure from 290 to Chakram, keeping him a bit safe though. 290, Sleight of Fists away. Now the Surge, the Ember Spirit, no! He gets completely Whirling Death down, buyback from 290. Oh my god, this Arenda team is so aggressive. And 290 not able to secure that one. I think he knew he was going to die there. He put down that Spirit, bought back immediately, comes straight back to it, but the Timber Saw is not there, so not able to grab that kill. Man. And here is the dead Courier for that dire side. Not for you. Just got caught wandering the lane. And Sorry Fox does have treads, 25 last hits for him. And he has actually done a decent job of sort of catching back up here. ZYF only at 35, so things returning a bit to parity in this top lane. We'll see if Tong Fu can battle back into it. Lena Lee is lining up. Oh, there's a huge stun available if he wants to go for it. No, the Wraithfire Blast moves out on Yi. There's the stun as well. They need to do something to stop it. There's the Burrow Strike. Tornado is coming through. U9's here, rages up. No, it's not enough. Double kill for U9 as he takes down the Sankey. He takes down the Shadow Shaman. TPN is not going to make it, so nope, actually canceled it. Just baits off everyone to leave here, leave ZYF alone. And he is going to be alive, but he has lost a lot of his team. He's gone for the phase boots build, so he's going to be favoring that mobility, make sure he doesn't get kited around. And I think that's crucial when you're facing up against all these stuns. Even though he does have rage, you want to be as mobile as possible. And now it's 4-5. I mean, Tong Fu has battled back into it. They figured out a way to make this top lane a bit more favorable for themselves. Sorry Fox. He's falling a bit behind now that he's had to leave, but you know, they're doing all they can. They rotated in the Invoker to try to bring this lane back for them. He got a double kill, so that's definitely going to help quite a bit. Yi only has himself boots, 2 last hits. This is one of the problems with Shadow Shaman in a tri-lane. I mean, like I was saying, he's a very powerful support, but you do need quite a lot to really bring him alive and take advantage of everything he has to offer. Sand King rotating down here to the bottom lane. It looks like 290 is as well. There's no ward coverage in the area. Just making sure there. Just this Radiant Ward, Dire Ward over here as well. And now they're going to move forward on this Timber Saw. They do have to be a bit careful. I mean, he is level 8, so he's dishing out a ton of damage with Whirling Death. Chakram going to move forward now. He knows he's getting a bit of issues. Oh my god, Yin, he's getting tons of damage. He is going to go down here. Tornado coming out. U9 rotations, ahoy. And now 290's on the run as well as Lena Lee. Uh-oh. Oh, very nice. Going to TP out of here. Man, both teams trying to make these lanes as favorable as possible for themselves, and they're gonna smoke back up. Orenda is so aggressive, smoking up right in the lane. There's no way that they saw that, but they do want to grab a couple of kills off this. It looks like they want the Invoker. Little did they know there's a Dazzle hanging out over here, but I mean, if they get this Invoker, it'll be well worth this investment of time as well as the smoke. And now, are they going to get it? Burrow Strike, rather, still has a very short range at this point, only level 2. Moving forward, there's U9. No! Just barely gets caught by the Burrow Strike. There's the change. Oh, double TP in. Tongfu doesn't want to let anyone die. Sorry, Fox. Moves in as well. And there's the Wraithfire Blast, and Timbersaw able to help clean it up. And Orenda's aggression just getting shut down now. And Tongfu just deciding they're not going to let anyone die. A lot of TPs. And is going to be, I mean, it's enough to save him. It also makes this Darkseer just dies, so. Plans backfired for Orenda. They used the smoke. They used the time for that smoke. They end up dying. Definitely not where you want to be. And U9 is going to be picking up an Orchid. Nice little D-ward there as well. They pinged that as soon as it went down, so not surprised to see that get D-warded. Taking a quick look here, gonna investigate some item builds. Looks like it's gonna be a mechanism up for MT, the Timbersaw. XBJ getting a nice little D-ward for himself as well. He has only picked up boots. We'll see where he decides to go from here, whether it's straight for a Blink Dagger, or if he does try to pick up an Arcanes or something like that. Drums for ZYF, just the normal phase drums build. We'll see if he decides to go for something like an Armlet after this. And already you can see the Shadow Shaman banking up gold. I think he does want to go perhaps right for that Blink Dagger. He might want to get Arcanes right here, but Blink is so strong on the Shadow Shaman with the Hex as well. And now ZYF, he moves forward, pops off the open wounds, in goes the Burrow Strike. The Impale is going to catch him, and there's the Ether Shock as well. Now XBJ on the run, it has the Carapace popped off. Oop, long range Shackle, nope, not going to be enough, as again this Invoker rotates over. Very nice job, disjoints that with the Sandstorm. And now there's 4 heroes from Tongfu top. And it seems like they've dealt with this Arenda aggression, and they've sort of put it in its place. They've shut it down, and now things are getting quite ugly for Arenda, I think. I mean, the good news is they do have this Ember Spirit, but this is the problem with the Flame Guard build. At this point, it just does not do that much. I mean, it might keep you alive, but you know, I was talking to someone about this the other day, and really your role as Ember Spirit is not to stay alive, it's to kill people. That's why you put levels in that sleight of fist. You put levels in that Searing Chains. And now they lose their top tower, and they drop their own wards in the mid lane. A stun immediately eaten by the Ember.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Gets a nice little chains off there, and down goes the tower. Darkseer putting some damage on the bottom tower as well. And it looks like he is also going to be the mech carrier for Arenda. But not quite as fast as the Timbersaw mechanism. 12 minutes, that's up here. Quite a healthy Timbersaw, 58 last hits. Only behind the Lifestealer, who's just continuing to farm away. I mean, he's sort of returned to the jungle a bit here, so this CS is a bit inflated. Taking a look at the net worth, he is still in the lead, and Invoker right behind it. Stun used on the illusion here. And now 290 knows he has to be a bit careful. And there's the mechanism up for Yim as well. So both of these solo laners have done quite well for themselves. And are Arenda and Tongfu going to clash once again here in the woods? 290 is just hiding out here in the trees. Whoop! He's out of here. There's huge Shadow Wave is there as well. And now Yim needs, I mean, he must know he is in a bit of trouble here. He can't really afford to stay. If he does eat the Wraithfire Blast, there's just so much follow-up. Tornado is there to start it up as well, so Yim does need to be careful. Now he has backed himself all the way up. Tornado sails through. Is going to be not just off the mark, but EMP going to force him back anyway, and they're going to continue putting damage out on this tier 1 as 290 farms in the mid lane. Looks like he's going to be going for a drum next. And now the Timbersaw has returned to the bottom lane as well. Ember Spirit rotating over. They do really want to get this tier 1. And whoop, there's a nice little vacuum. Shoots the Wraithfire Blast. Chakram goes through. Very long range.
Bottom tower is under attack.
From downtown, and now the tower's taking a lot of damage. And Arenda forced to rotate over some heroes. There is a Lifestealer inside of the Ember Spirit now. Are they going to really try to go for this? I mean, they have to be really careful. They're fighting into an Invoker, into a Timbersaw, and there's a lot of stuns as well. There's smoked up. They want to get the drop here. They're baiting with Yim. They want them to go on Yim, and there's the Wraithfire Blast. Sorry Fox going to take the bait. They move forward, though. They go in the back, and wow, what an engagement by Arenda. They want to bring down U9. Not going to be able to do so. Epicenter coming through as well. Tongfu taking so much damage here. Look how low all of them are. Can 290 finish them all up? There's the reincarnation. Oh my god, the spirit is so slow. And down he goes. 3 die for Orenda. Boy, it's gonna be 4. No, maybe not. Real close. Another buyback from 290. And he just realizes, you know, I bought back, but I actually don't want to be here. And they were all so low. This is when the Sleight of... You really pay for this Flame Guard build. I mean, one Sleight of Fist would have easily killed all of them there. And what has Flame Guard done? I mean, he still died. It's not like it saved him through that fight. Oh, man.
Yeah, thanks.
I really just do not like this build. As you guys can probably tell. Weave goes down. Wraithfire Blaster on Yim. Chalk him as well. They're moving past the tower. There's a sheep on MT290 here as well, just doing Ion Shell damage. He needs to figure out a way to really bring someone down here. Now they have the chains on MT. He goes through EMP coming through as well, and that is going to drain a lot of mana. Shadow Shaman going to go down as a result. Man, this is just back and forth. These teams just duking it out here. Lifestealer hasn't really been involved in these fights. I mean, he was around for that last one, but that was pretty much it. And he has picked himself up in the armlet now, so he'll be doing a lot more damage in team fights. U9 still working towards that Orchid. It is moving quite along, right along though. Really no issues there. Oh my god, Yim. He's gonna be caught out as well. Oh, down he goes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm just thinking about what an Ember Spirit would have done in that fight with max level Sleight of Fist. I mean, he just would have been able to do so much more. They moved forward with the Nags bomb there, and just like nothing happened. It's like a huge commitment to the way they were going to do this fight. They smoked up, they hit him over here. They have these really cute plays, and then they just dive bomb in, and like nothing happens.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Arenda's aggression is now just getting shut down. I mean, Sorry Fox has his own armlet. The Invoker now has an Orchid for himself. He's reaching the point where he can really control the team fights. And there's, I mean, Rage is the only even thing resembling a BKB that Arenda have. And it looks like it's the only thing they're going to have for a while is 290. He's 3-2. He only has 50 last hits. He's just like stopped CSing apparently. He's been involved in all of these 5v5 bottom fights. They ping out the defense here, and this is one of the weirder games I've seen in a while. I mean, Tong Fu and Orenda have just been sitting in this bottom lane. Earlier they were sitting in the top lane, and they just continue to battle it out here. Pick themselves up a nice little D ward. Only a sentry though. Man, if that centaur had stomped right there, that would have been absolutely hilarious. Sorry Fox now just continuing to farm. Wants to get himself as big as possible. Wants to make sure he can do the damage. And there's the Orchid picked up from the Invoker. And I think things are only going to get worse here for Arenda. They don't really have anything like that coming online. I mean, they have the mech. Wonderful. They have the armlet for ZYF. Oh, there's a Blink Dagger now actually for Lean Lee. That's a pretty huge item.
Comforting rune of regeneration.
Is that going to be enough to help turn these team fights though? I mean, last time we saw the Epicenter move forward, they were all so low and then just nothing happened. Just puts the Spirit down in the back. Wants to be able to make a quick escape here if things go awry.
Haste.
And they're all parked again in the bottom lane. This is so weird. Invoker has left though. He's running around with full wax. Tornado pops 40 MP as well. And that's going to be a bit annoying for Lena Lee. Ember now back. You know, if all the Embers are played like this in China, maybe this is why they're not nearly as scared about it. There's the Orchid popping through cold snap damage, right click. Flame Guard still protecting him a bit, but now XBJ here as well. Smoke picked up by the Shadow Shaman. And, I mean, I think Tong Fu are just going to be able to battle back into this one at this point. I mean, they had a huge early disadvantage, but I think now, it's very close. They are in the lead in XP. Gold is basically even. But, I mean, when gold is even like that, you have to look at how is this farm distributed. And it makes a huge difference that there's one hero for Orenda and then 3 heroes for Tong Fu. It means they're really going to be able to control those team fights. And with the Invoker as well, it's going to be pretty easy for them. There is a Roshan here by Arenda. This is the cute thing about Shadow Shaman. It's very easy. You drop the wards, and you can kind of just do this Roshan pretty much for free. It does not take that much of a commitment. And it looks like they are going to finish that off without any sort of problem. So this might be what they need to really get this moving along here. Oh, that's a pretty convenient regen arena for ZYF. I'm going to be happy to pick that one up. Back up to full, and sorry, Fox has not really left this bottom lane since moving over there from the top lane. U9 really one of the more active ones. We haven't really seen any Nyx ganks, but that's mostly because these teams have just been like 5v5 staring at each other. They're not even like fighting the whole time. They've just kind of been staring at each other. And now this is a huge item, I think, for Arenda. This might be able to bring it back in their favor in these team fights. The Blink Dagger, maybe make it so they can actually initiate on heroes successfully. They can move forward on even someone like a Timbersaw, someone like an Invoker, and really try to bring them down. XBJ looking for a kill here. Is going to find Lenally and blink away. And Ghost Walk by U9. This is something that new Invokers are doing with this Max Wex build with the Ghost Walk buff as well. You can kind of just like wander around, and then when you come across someone, you can just basically kill them. I mean, you walk up to them, you Orchid them, Cold Snap them, and just right click them down, throw a tornado at their face, and they usually just die. So this build has been extremely popular lately, and for good reason. And now it looks like they are going to smoke up. Maybe. He's waiting for 290. There we go. And there's a Lifestealer inside Lenally. This is going to be their initiation. They've got the Blink Dagger online, and there's a Blink for the Skeleton King as well. That's a nifty little tech pickup. And Orenda are walking through the jungle. They're looking for anyone. It looks like they're only going to find Sorry Fox, which is not a bad thing. But, oh, he blinks away. Wow. If they get nothing off this gank, that is bad. Bad news bears. Looks like they might not get anything out of this. That's a huge commitment. Like, their entire team has been committed to this. Now there's this reverse smoke, counter smoke by Tong Fu. And Orenda is just going to farm up the jungle. That's a huge disadvantage for them, though. Tong Fu are doing the same thing, though, so I guess it's not the worst thing ever. They're waiting. And now they're going to move forward. Take down this tower. TP moving in by Yim. Is level 12 now, so it does have the 2 levels in wall. I think this will be the first fight with a wall in it. And there's the vacuum. Gets the wall down as well. Lenally gets the Orchid immediately. Now they're moving forward. Impale as well. Is he going to get brought down? Yes, he is. Mech not enough to save him. Wraith King going to do it. He buys back immediately. They know they need his epicenter. U9 going to go down. Arenda able to get one for themselves. Sorry Fox duking it out here. Toggling the armor as much as he can. There's the reincarnation. It looks like he is sort of all by himself. There's the Burrow Strike. XBJ here, but Sorry Fox is taking a lot of damage. The Grave is going to be enough to keep him alive for the moment. Nyx Assassin takes down the Ember Spirit. Now, Arenda the ones who are on the run. It looks like Yim is going to go down. And are they going to be able to get any more? So I think it ends up being... Is that a 4 for just reincarnation? Anyone buy back? Okay. Well, U9 bought back. But still, I mean, the Sand King bought back and then did nothing. And Arenda trying to defend here. And it's just not working out. It's just not working out. They just can't really seem to figure out exactly what's going on here. I mean, they seem to be losing their grip on this game. They had an option. They had the advantage, and it just did not, they weren't able to translate that into just more kills.
Dire's middle tower.
They weren't able to translate that into more towers. I mean, they got the tier 1s, but Sorry Fox has regained his footing now. He's picked himself up a Blink Dagger. The Invoker has come alive. And things are just going to continue getting harder here for Orenda until... I don't even know what they need. I guess they need a BKB on 290, which is what he is going for. They've got the Skull Basher on ZYF. They did not use the Aegis in that fight. That's something at least. Looks like they're just going mass BKBs. And I mean, against an Invoker, sometimes that's just what you have to do. You just say, well, they have an Invoker, everyone on the team buy BKBs, we're gonna die. Just having to deal with Tornado, having to deal with EMP is a huge problem. Now all of Arenda again, wrapping through the bottom lane. And they have supported these ganks with very, very good ward coverage, very good sentry coverage. And just trying to make sure that the way is clear for them when they try to execute these wild, crazy maneuvers. Fortunately, it's just not really working out for them. There is this ward down here, but they're going to march forward here, try to take a tier 2. They pop down another sentry of their own. But Tongfu here to defend. And looks like Arenda might just be forced to back up. Reincarnation's up in 12 seconds. The Aegis is getting reclaimed in just a couple. If he dies in the middle of this, it's going to be pretty bad. And now, whoop, Sorry Fox moves forward. Whoop. Wow. Ember Spirit out of here as well. ZYF now pops off the Rage. I wonder if he knows his Aegis is about to expire and needs to be a bit careful here. We'll see. We'll watch it as it goes. 6 seconds. Now 290, taking damage. But, oh, very nice Darkseer. Pulls them all back. Epicenter as well, but they just don't have enough damage to bring down Tongfu. There's the Reincarnation. They have taken down Sorry Fox, but he turns around, smacks the Lifestealer in the face, takes him down. And now again, Arenda are the ones who are on the run. The Whirling Death. And that's a Poison Touch to cancel CP. They move forward there. MT, not able to quite get one. Tornado goes through. Yin, he is going to get brought down here. No way he's making out of this one. Good night. He dies to that Organ proc. And now Sorry Fox has found 290. There's the Wraith Fire Blast, the Impale as well. And Tongfu have just taken this game over in team fights. There is just nothing that Orenda can do. Nothing at all. They've been trying to make things happen. They can't deal with the Timbersaw. They can't deal with the Invoker. And to be honest, I'm not sure how they think they can win the team fights against those two heroes. They don't really have anything to do about that. I mean, they have the Darkseer. They need to be executing pickoffs with the Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman isn't that great in these giant 5v5 engagements. He really benefits from just walking over to someone, blinking on them, hexing them, shackling them, using all that CC in combination with someone else dealing out some damage to bring them down. And that just really hasn't happened. Looks like it is going to be a Bloodstone here for MT. It is a bit late. 27 minutes. You really look for that around 18 to 20 minutes. That's the ideal timing. And now finally he is able to pick that up. So,
bottom tower has fallen.
I mean, with that mechanism purchase, it obviously delays things quite a bit. So still a very reasonable time for MT. And the net worth is getting even worse for Arenda. Their Lifestealer was clearly in the lead earlier. Now Invoker, hot on his tails, is going for a BKB himself. And, oh man, I just don't know how Arenda are supposed to deal with this. I mean, they're kind of in a catch-22 situation because they need BKBs to not die to the Invoker. But the BKB doesn't actually help them again. I mean, it keeps it so they can't get stunned by Sorry Fox, but it doesn't actively help them kill them. And now they move forward on 290. Armlet toggling is on, and now 290 is going to go down. And there's Tong Fu are just playing circles around Arenda in this game. Continuing along here. How are Arenda supposed to fight back into this? I'm just trying to rack my brain for, I mean, I guess like in the super late game, Ember Spirit is okay, but he is just so not farmed. He's bought back like 3 times and then just done nothing. He's slowly working his way towards Mechanism. Yim needs to be a bit careful here. Oh, Tornado going to move through. He is going to be caught. EMP, and what an impale as well. And down goes Yim. Sorry, Fox. Picking up another one. 4,000 gold for him.
Double damage.
He is. Where is he going from here? Alright, he gets the AAC next. This is, makes complete sense. Complete sense. And they're just going to continue moving forward here. Tong Fu know they have a huge advantage right now, and they're just going to continue pressing it. The Ember Spirit is so poor, he's just doing nothing in these fights. Ember Spirit is just, oh man, this pains me to watch. And it looks like they're going to get an easy tier 2 for themselves. ZYF is in the jungle. Looks like he's maybe trying to farm up an A-Blade. He could be going for an AC as well. And now U9 wandering around the jungle, using that movement speed and trying to get a pick off. We'll see. Is he actually able to grab someone like ZYF? It looks like they're going to try to with the Timber Saw. Oh, and he is seeping out of the air. Can they get there in time? No, they can't. Out he goes. 0-7 on this Darkseer. That is just... that's not great. 0-7-2. Not great at all. This Darkseer hasn't really done that much for them. I mean, they kind of lose the team fights. They just don't have enough damage in the team fights to win them anyway, which is kind of crazy because they have the epicenter, they have the wall, and they have Ember Spirit, but they just can't seem to get it done in team fights. I mean, they use all of their damage on Sorry Fox, and he just reincarnates, and then Arenda just has to like run away.
Dyer's
they can't do anything.
Is under attack.
And they're gonna go get themselves another free Roshan to make up for it. They're gonna lose a tier 2 for it though. I mean, I guess maybe that's worth it if you're Arenda. You try to fight it with tier 3 towers, just make it so they can't actually break the high ground. But that's, I guess that's really their plan at this point. I mean, I don't know what else they can do, as it doesn't look like Tongfu is stopping it. They definitely knew that was happening with no one even close to around. And now they're going to move forward on Yim. Can they bring him down? EMP coming through. Oh my god. Darkseer not able to do anything. Lifestealer already. The Aegis is used. Ember Spirit moving through the fight here. Up again comes ZYF after using that Aegis. Sorry Fox walking forward still has Reincarnate available. They need to be careful. They're trying to defend their tower. A buyback from the Darkseer. Is that enough? And oh my god. Smacks him in the face with a Wraith Fire Blast. He moves away. Yim vacuums him back. Down goes the wall. Nice one. Gets him stuck in a choke. Now ZYF going to try to bring down someone. Looks like XBJ. Nope. That's a shallow grip. Keeping him alive. Sorry Fox finally going to go down for the first time, but now they're all so slow. MT would love this. Now he's just bringing them down one by one. Wraith King takes down another one. And I think the game is just over for Orenda. They have not picked up a single kill during this entire fight. They've fought back. They're on the run again. And now the tier 3 tower is going to be falling. With it, the racks and perhaps the game. A nice vacuum there, but not enough to take advantage of it, and they just melt down the Ember Spirit again. And he does buy the BKB, but he's dead for 50 seconds, so unfortunately it doesn't really help you there. Down goes melee. Range going to follow as well. Yim going to get caught again. Oh my god. This is just a massacre now, and Orenda had a huge lead. They were up 5 kills to 1, and then, I mean, how many unanswered kills has there been for Tongfu? Relatively unanswered. I mean, there's the GG by him. They just know that the jig is up. There's just nothing they can do at this point to bring this back in their favor. Thank you guys for watching. This is a best of 3, so we'll be back in just a couple of minutes here for game number 2. Tongfu going up against Arenda here in WVW 2014. I'm WhatIsHip. You can find more about me at WhatIsHipTV on Twitter and at HighGroundTV on Twitter, our new casting organization. But we're still here casting for BTS because we love it. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes with game number 2.